everyone, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 3 of the YouTube. So today I have two very special ladies with me, Dominique Lyric Robinson and Joy Weathers of Joy Has Questions. I want you guys to both introduce yourselves.
Hey y'all, this is Dominique Lyric. So like Danny said, I am so excited to be here as a guest. I am currently an account supervisor. I work in the ad industry. I'm also the founder and CEO of Lyrics By Lyric.
Yes, and I am super appreciative to be here as well with my booth. My name is Joy Weathers. As was said, I am the founder of Joy Has Questions. I have a podcast that I started, launching my blog July 23rd. I have an LLC, so yes, tax.
Woo, woo,
Yay. I do have a YouTube channel, but just in general, I started my brand because I was tired of the foolishness, and I wanted an outlet to tell everyone how to tell their truth, so... Be real, y'all. Be real.
Awesome. So speaking of your truth, there's one thing that I saw this week that really grinded my gears, and it's a little controversial, so I know that you guys are definitely down for the controversy.
Mm-hmm. Bring it on.
So, okay, there's this whole thing where they're letting transgender, male to female, race track in high school and middle school against females. And I'm not for it. That is not fair, and people are shocked that the trans are winning. Like, who's not?
You go right ahead.
Okay, so I feel, this is so petty of me, but when I found out that they were winning against white students, I was like, oh, I'm fine with this. I didn't care. So I also did research. Now, typically, being a transgender or going through those cycles, that is almost, if not more, expensive as IVF is. Mm-hmm. Those are like thousands of dollars. So I can see how if you might be a lower or working class family, maybe all you can do is offer in that moment like the emotional support to your child, but tell them like, look, you're going to have to do this process maybe on your own time and dime. But I also look at it as a sense of, you know what, get better. Because when I saw those kids, I was just like, the complaints that they were making, think about everything where the advantage is just like so lopsided. And I know it doesn't make sense in what I'm in this, like, this is gender, there's testosterone and estrogen involved. Like, if you are still genetically a natural born male, then yes, you are going to be stronger. But I also looked at it as this is the same excuse that I heard how many times when Serena burst onto the scene. She's just so strong and it's not fair and her thighs are bigger than ours and all this other stuff. Like, I have seen Serena in like exhibition games like whoop men's ass, you know? So I'm kind of just like, miss me with the whole it's unfair, because I'm like, you all say that a lot in general just about blackness being too powerful and too strong. I'm like, just get better and stop whining.
So I'll say this. Yes and no. I think that, yes, we should have all gender, all sexes compete, but not at the expense of girl sports. And that's what is happening. You don't see the male to female like racing or the top, rushing with the guys. They're just having it with the girls, right? So I have an issue with that, number one. Number two, we always, because of the sensationalism, push towards the narrative of the transgender and not of the natural born female. Think of if you were an athlete in high school. When you're in high school, you really are, because you're not of age and fully matured, you really can't think what happens past high school. So all I'm thinking about is getting to state. And if I got to race against a natural born man, I'm taking steroids. That's the only way I'm going to win, right? Because at the end of the day, that's a man genetically, DNA hits a man. That's why they're winning. So to level the playing field, because I want to go to state. And if there's only 5 seats and there's 4 trans or 1 trans and I'm the 5th, I'm not going. And otherwise, I would have been able to go. So what do you do to make it fair? I think that you can do what me and Dominique were talking about yesterday. You can do like how the Special Olympics has a whole thing for disables. You can do the same thing for trans. They can run against each other. Then you can have male to female and female to male running against each other, but they're in that versus taken away from the females, because that's the only time that I see that it's really an issue.
Yeah, I agree. I think it comes down to fairness. I'm all for equality. Everybody deserves a fair shot. It's like if you're if you're a human being and you want to race or you want to run track, go for it. But there's levels to this. There's different, categories in which you can compete. If you were born a man and now you are going to go up against the girls track team, that is not fair. Like, we have to put set some boundaries and some parameters around this. For every other sport, or like you said, Special Olympics, we have those boundaries set. And it's not to segregate, but it is. Like, we live in a segregated world, and we have to call a spade a spade. You're a man. You're stronger than me. Why should I have to work 10 times as hard to be able to compete against you? Think about it. Think about basketball right now. Just think about the best female basketball player right now and the best male basketball player right now. I don't know who the best female player is.
Brittany Griner.
Boom. She got to play against LeBron. That's a big man. She might be able to take him. She might be able to pop some jumpers on him. But I'm just saying, it's still not a fair shot. Imagine a whole team of Britneys and a whole team of LeBrons. It just doesn't seem fair. Like, that space in which we're intersecting, I feel like we've crossed the line. We're trying to do too much fairness, and we need to just take a step back and say, wait a minute.
And it's always at the expense of the female sports. Like, take the top 5 NBA versus the top 5 NBA. Okay, great. So once you take those, then the second strain of the WNBA is just out, right? If we're just looking at the top, we don't care about them. You may have maybe 5 girls that are really doing dope things. Everybody else, which I don't get to play. That's literally what you're doing, but in a high school and middle school level, when you're kind of just having best of the best without allowing a separate for females. If that was the case, then why would we even have female and male sports anyway? Right. Why wouldn't we just have it at the beginning like we do in 3rd grade, when really everyone is still genetically the same?
I get, and that's the tricky thing, because I'm like, even when I've heard other people, and let me first preface this by saying, I am an LGBTQ plus supporter, but I'll be honest, when it comes to the transgender community, I haven't been as educated. So I'm just more so now, I guess, trying to understand like the struggles or issues that happen to them. And I guess this is a great example. But what I have even heard is how that's part of how they feel that's part of the problem, like the separation. I really just feel like it comes down to, what else do you do when this is somebody who hasn't taken who hasn't made that transition? Even when I thought, who was there was a young lady from the last Olympics. She was an African
hermaphrodite.
Right. Mm-hmm. And she was killing it. And everyone was just like, it's not fair because she has more testosterone in her system.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but the issue here and the discourse here is born this way.
And that's the thing.
Because transgender community will say, I was born this way. LGBTQ, I am born this way. And I think that's where the disconnect is in all of our ignorance is, what does that even mean? Like, right. That is changing and constantly transforming. And like, born this way for me is like, I was born a woman, but other people have different narratives of what born this way means too. And
it's a matter of, I will also say this, and it's not necessarily in this situation, but in general, I am tired of trying to be fair, if that makes sense. Like,
it's hard to be fair.
Not with this, but it's like, everybody now got a problem, is sensitive, that offended me. And it's like, it's kind of hard at times to find the line between what is offensive and what is like gross, like literally toughen the fuck up. And it's that was just my little side vent. I'm like, I'm just tired of everybody's feelings.
So speaking of everybody's feelings, a lot of people was in their feelings this morning when we talked about Kylie Jenner on track to become the first quote unquote self-made billionaire. So let's unpack.
Sure.
So first of all, I think that one, Kylie is smart because compared to Rob Kardashian, she is killing the game.
He's still trying to sell socks.
He's also dealing with some personal mental issues,
whatever.
And mental health things.
But when you've done with it for so many years, like that's a. Anyway,
his family disregards
he's not relevant.
Him, so I don't think about
relevant in this conversation.
His family has pushed him to the side.
Back to Kylie.
But back to the fact that they do have the same mother. They do have shared DNA. So that's why we can put them in that right. So she's killing the game. I mean, even compared to Kourtney and Kendall and even Khloe, like Lil Mama is killing the game. So I can't just say like a lot of people are like, well, she was just had all this money, so it's not fair. And I'm like, Well, she is smart though. Lil Mama turned millions into billions, okay? Most heirs can't do that.
So I think that people need to take a step back and stop being haters.
Right.
Number
Woo!
one, the world is full of them. People just like to hate. They gonna hate on you for winning the $5 raffle. So they definitely gonna hate if you're gonna be a self-proclaimed billionaire. People have a lot of the issues with the Kardashians, but they need to take a step back and get their notepad out.
Hello.
Because at the end of the day, they're marketing geniuses.
Chris, baby, can you work for me, Chris? Chris, can I work for you?
I'm sorry, when I saw that Bumble application pop up that day, I thought it was a hoax. And I was like, should I even apply?
I mean, they know what they're doing, and they stay in their lane, and they continue to do it. One thing, I was reading an article, like, for her interview about all of this stuff, and one of the things she said was she figured out what she was good at. She dug deep into, like, what her personal insecurities were, what was the one thing she was going to be able to contribute. I mean, all of her family members are pretty. She wasn't going to play off of that. The reason her idea is where it is because it evolved from a point of tension. And that's where all great ideas evolve from, if we think about it in the world of advertising. It's a point of tension. And that was her being insecure about her lips and running to makeup as a safe space. So when you think about it in this way, she had passion and all of that behind it and a real meaning behind it. So go on, Callie, kill it. Teach these hoes.
Exactly. I love it. And she even was like, my baby has the best lips ever. She definitely didn't get it from me. Like, I like when you can joke about your insecurities as well. So I love her.
I'll just say this, like, everyone, if you do know me, knows I don't go up for the Kardashians in terms of what they represent, but a broke clock is right twice a day, and I'll give credit where credit is due. And the thing is, to already come from a family that, whether or not you agree with the means or the foundation of how they got famous, to come from a family and figure out a way to differentiate yourself in such a unique manner, I think she definitely needs to have the credit, because yes, she did have the resources, but she had to utilize those resources. And not even trying to be funny, like, I know we just crack jokes on Rob, but Rob is a Kardashian as well. They have these same resources to pull from. She just used hers better. And I say this all the time. The person who in that family, when I looked at, like, how people were looking at Kylie and, like, saying, oh, she's up next, I'm like, they're right. She is the one in that family that is most poised to take over or to be more popular than Kim. And so I'm like, you don't have to like her, but I definitely do respect the fact that she made the most of her platform. Like, she could have easily just settled into doing endorsements and she does have endorsements, but she could have just settled into being a socialite and having those type of endorsement deals where she just, like, put up a Fashion Over Curve jumpsuit and then go about her business doing wheelies in Calabasas. So the fact that she has turned this into an empire, and actually, even though I think their family represents appropriation a lot of times, it does seem inclusive of women of color, like,
because her best friend is black,
exactly,
and is very, like, present in her life and her business.
Jordan Woods, that she also is friends with Justine Skye, and so that's why I'm like, she definitely did have that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm Fenty Beauty all day long, but I'm like, she wasn't as, just blatantly rude about it when she even started Kylie's lip kits.
And another thing that I want to hit on is, we love to hate on women. Women love to hate on other women. We love to talk about, I've heard so many women talk about, oh, she appropriates culture, she steals ideas. Billionaire men have been stealing ideas from the poor.
Facebook.
From the beginning. So if we want to talk about that, get off of all social platforms you're on. The clothes you wear, that probably was someone else's idea, guys. Your favorite movie probably was a script stolen from an intern. Seriously, boom. Like, people need to just shut up, fall in line and get in formation, and just try to, like, capitalize on what their next big idea is going to be. Stay in your swim lane. That's just how I feel about it. Quit hating. Listen, quit hating and stay in your swim lane.
So I think that what I want to do is really, I wrote a blog about this. I was so passionate today. So I want to kind of unpack what I feel like Kylie did right. One, She totally leverages social media. She's constantly on there because the more you feed social media, the more it gives you back. And so when people are like, oh my gosh, she's always on there, I'm sick of her. But you're sick of her because you keep popping up because your friends are liking her pictures. That's how social media works. If everybody was sick of her like you complain that you were, then you wouldn't see her, but you do. So the second thing though is that she started her product before she quote unquote made it. I think that we live in a brand where we're always trying to chase clout. We want big brands to come to us and give us, discount codes and affiliate links and free stuff. And for example, athletes, we don't even think about having a shoe deal until we make it to the pros. LeVar Ball came up with Big Baller Brand. Everybody was just in total what is he doing? They're not even made it to the league yet. Why is he trying to have his own deal, his own product? So Kylie went and started her stuff. And now, 3 short years later, she's already grossed $900 million. Kylie also runs a lean store. So I think this is something that we can all do. This is something that's very copy appropriate. 1, she outsources manufacturing. 2, she only has 7 full-time employees and 5 part-time employees. And lastly, she sells her store on Shopify. Anybody could do that. We could literally all figure out what it is that we're good at, what's going to be our bread and butter, find a manufacturer, make cool graphics, and sell it on Shopify. People do it all the time. So it's not like she's trying to be something that she's not. It doesn't have to be complicated for it to work. And last thing is, Kylie put up her own money. Kylie 100% owns, Kylie Cosmetics. So that is why she's on scale. Fenty Beauty, I believe, did better this year than Kylie Cosmetics, but Rihanna does not own 100% of Fenty Beauty. And that is the main thing when it comes to owning. I think that's another thing. We always want to collaborate, but collaboration comes with taking a piece of the pie. Her sisters did not say, hey, Kylie, I'll give you the information, but you need to give me 10%. They said, no. Kylie's family did what every family should do. What I saw Dana Chanel post on Instagram was that I like the Forbes thing. Yes, they may have messed up about self-made millionaire. They should have had her sisters, her parents, all behind her with a hand on her shoulder because they all helped her get to where she's going. She's the youngest in the family and she's doing better than they did at their age, and that's how it should be. And the next generation should do even better. They got it right versus a lot of families, well, I want to be the star, so I'm not going to share. I want to be the Beyonce of the family, and I don't want, you can be the Solange. Kim was like, I'm the Kim of the family, but I'm passing the torch to you. And that's the difference between their family and a lot of other families. If we're the star, we want to stay the star. If you're the problem child like Rob, you want to stay the problem child. You don't want to get help because you are comfortable in being that problem child. And so that is something that I think we can all kind of learn. So is she self-made? I mean, by definition, if she made the money to fund her business from her own gigs, then yes, she is quote unquote self-made. However, she definitely got influenced there by Kim. Kim even says, baby girl, I gave you your career. I don't have to give you nothing else for Christmas ever, right? That's fact. I'm sure Chris gave her all the tools and goodies and nuggets that she's collected over the years because Lil Mama is bad, right? However, with that term, that's how we're a little confused on where she's at. But I feel like if you did exactly what your parents did, for instance, Prince Williams, if he's doing exactly what his parents did, that's not self-made. But her mother and her father was a lawyer. Her mother was, let's say, a businesswoman. Kylie's doing something completely different than everybody else. And actually, Kim actually followed suit. Right after they saw that did well, KKW came right on out. So that is what I wanted to everybody can take away that. Everybody can utilize social media until the wheels fall off. Understand that consistency is key. Lil Mama been in the scene since before she would hit puberty. And she's been consistent at it over and over again. So this is not like an overnight success. 2, you have to be careful when people, we all love Shark Tank and we want to make it, but understand when you have those 60-40 deals, that has long-term repercussions, and you won't make Forbes list making these 60-40 deals. They will. But you won't.
Well.
So I definitely want you guys to talk a little bit more about your business and kind of just tell us what you guys have going on. How did you start your idea, and where do you see yourself going on this year, so we can kind of follow you and, you know, give you guys time to shine.
Got you. Joy Has Questions started from depression. Like, it really did. I was sitting in church. I lived with my cousin at the time, Jasmine, and I literally was across the street from, what church is that? Brazier's church. See, thank you, Apostolic. And I remember I came home and I was just like, man, everyone tells me like I should do like social commentary, but I don't have like the tools to do it. I thought I needed like green screen and, you know, a nice wig and all this other stuff. And so she was just like, just do like a video. I won't, you know, put it up. And she definitely did. But that was like how it got started. And so it's grown over the past 2 years. I'm super happy to say that my commentary has not only gotten a nice following, it's encouraging people. I always say the basis of Joy Has Questions is to not only celebrate people's voices, but to empower them to tell their own story and to tell their own truth. So my perspective is more than just saying, girl, I can see your lace in your frontal, like as I watch Love and Hip Hop. Like I love those commentators on social media too. Everyone has a place, but mine is more so deeper in terms of like, what does this mean? How powerful are we as Black people? What are the questions we need to be asking ourselves and those around us? So I now have my podcast, which allows me to do that on a longer format and interview people that I feel are making moves in the community and the movement, mastering the art of having multiple streams of income. I don't stop knocking people with day jobs. That is a stream of income. Mm-hmm. Not everybody wants to starve and be an artist. So until you're ready to take that plunge into entrepreneurial endeavors full time, keep your check. And then I have my blog launching, which is another format for me to, you know, deal with combating microaggressions as well as, you know, just issues that people who look like me face. And I have my YouTube page as well. So I have multiple platforms, but
I get Ernestine Johnson vibes from you.
Thank you. That's a lot. Oh, wait, and I know who she is. I'm like, oh. No, that isn't, girl. I wish I had that check. Like, let me slang some fashion for it. No, I'm kidding. But I definitely, I'm just happy to be speaking my truth. And I know, like it, like you touched on it earlier. You said a lot of times we want people to partner up with us and give us these big endorsements. Or man, if I could just get Lena Waithe to like shout me out, I'd be set. And it's like, you have to do the work, you know, like. I'm consistent with my brand. I put up posts, if not every day, every other day. I know I'm dropping my podcast at once a week. So you have to be willing to grind it out. And the consistency is what people will respect. So.
Amen.
Awesome. So Lyrics by Lyric, how did it start? So Lyrics by Lyric honestly was all about me finding my voice and kind of showing the world everything that all the pieces of me and my story. So a lot of people know me, have met me at different phases of my life. Some people, you know, before 2007 call me Damo. Some people nowadays call me Lyric. I mean, the world knows me as like 15 different people. And I think Lyrics by Lyric was just an opportunity to kind of bring all of those different, you know, facets of life to life, you know. So Lyrics by Lyric, you know, it's a consultant agency. And a blog where I, you know, kind of give marketing and coaching advice to people. I've worked in the advertising industry now for 7.5 years. Graduated from college with a full-time position at, you know, quote unquote world's top agency, Leo Burnett. And to be quite frank, I've been working since I've had a job every summer or winter break of my life since I was like 11 or 12 years old. I had that Chicago's workers permit every year. So I've always been a hustler. And over the years, you know, the lyrics of my life, I've kind of started to write my own story. And I found that along the way, you know, I had a lot of hiccups, as far as careers and microaggressions, and just a lot of stuff was happening to me, and I found a way to dig myself out, and I always kind of ended up on top. But along that path, I did a lot of journaling, and I wrote a lot of stuff down, and I said I wanted to be able to help other people that looked like me or didn't even look like me kind of get to that place of not complacency but comfort. And that's kind of what Lyrics by Lyric is all about. It's me giving back a sense of confidence, instilling a sense of security with people in a world where people don't believe in that anymore. People don't believe in, giving someone a shoulder to cry on. They want to give. I wrote something on LinkedIn, had a little LinkedIn Facebook rant last night about, constructive criticism versus words of affirmation. It's like everybody wants to tell you, yeah, I would have done that a little different versus saying, I got your back. I know you're having a rough time. So that's what Lyrics by Lyric is. I'm working on a podcast right now where we're going to be talking about corporate America, everybody and their jobs. I have stories for days. People around me, that's kind of like the highlight of my life. People either come to me telling me about their stories, or I'm constantly calling Danielle in our morning calls, telling her the corporate tea for the day or the week. So you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on my actual blog page at lyricsbylyrics.com. And there's more to come this year. I'm just looking to be that go-to person when it comes to corporate America. People looking to have that side hustle while at work. I like my money. I like getting my checks every 2 weeks, but I also like the feeling of giving back to someone who needs a helping hand.
Awesome. So I do want to let everybody know today, because you guys are getting it today, Thursday, July 12th at 6 to 8 p.m. If you're in the Chicagoland area, I will be having a workshop. We're talking about social media checklists. It's only $15. It is going to be at 1550 South State Street, Suite 102. You can just come and pay at the door. We are going to be talking about web development and how to make sure that you are able to not only monetize your site, but to capture lead generating tips so you can capture emails. We're talking about social media, snagging a partnership, and my favorite, paid content. So now I want to get into the business lesson of the day. This is our final session on YouTube. So we've already talked about why you need a YouTube and how you can use it to leverage for your business or brand. But now I want to talk about some tips on how you can build out your YouTube account. So there are things on YouTube called playlists, and that is where you're really able to go on different paths and different sections. So maybe one of your playlists is every week you give them an update of your life, or maybe you're bringing your camera or even your iPhone really to different parts of your life, and then you can compilate it. And that's kind of what Shameless Maya did, who is a Black woman that has reached over 1 million subscribers now. She started by just every week doing an update with her life. So those are called vlogs. Now, some people do daily vlogs. Some people do vlogs 2 to 3 times a week. Some people do it once a week. It's really up to you. Another section can be you talking about what it is that you are great at. So maybe it is you talking about, for me, marketing and all these different tips. If I'm going to different places and I'm speaking, I can record the entire workshop. I can also sit there and ask you questions that you guys are giving me. It's just somewhere that I can show that I am a subject matter expert at something. The next thing that you can do is you can really start doing reactionary videos. So think about a music video that pops up and it's becoming super viral. You can do a reactionary video and actually have a portion of that video playing or some of that music playing, and you cannot get in trouble because it's commentary to something. So that is a way that you can, one, play some popular content or popular music that may be copywritten, and you can also get those trending likes, because when you're searching that YouTube video, if you pop up and are having more and more likes, your video will pop up as well. So that's something that you can do. So you can do that for music videos. You can do that for current events. You can do that for movies. You can really do that for anything that you think that you want to. And so sometimes it can be random, or sometimes it can be something that's super valuable to what you're talking about. So for me, if I was going to do a YouTube video, which I'm going to tomorrow, Thursday is my content creation for videos, I'm going to do a YouTube video about Kylie Jenner because it's relevant to what I'm talking about, what I believe in, and people are going to be talking about this for at least the next week and a half. So that's something that you can capitalize on. The last thing that you can do is you can really start doing like interviews and kind of one-on-one sessions about something on there. So a lot of times people will do Google Hangouts, they will go live, and that's where you can interact with either your audience or you can bring someone else on and you can start interacting with them for people. So maybe that you're really interested in like body health and you really don't talk about that. You can bring somebody to come on and review. Or maybe you're getting plastic surgery and you want to bring people through a question and answer or a sit down. Like all those things are something that is kind of off the cuff, but very searchable. So if I were you, before you get started, think of yourself as your target. And then start Googling certain keywords and you'll see videos that pop up. And then you can do something that's similar, but put your own twist on it. And that's an easy way to build likes, to build subscribers, and to have different people following. I always say do how-tos as well because how-tos are something that people will be looking for years to come. One of my most popular videos is how to fly Spirit. And it's because every summer and every holiday season, people are looking to how to fly for cheap, and Spirit comes up because people already know to fly Spirit you got to have a lot of things. You got to, one, be flying and not have to be somewhere at that particular day just in case they cancel. Two, you have to have a smaller than normal carry-on. And three, you have to figure out how you can bring your boarding pass without printing or it's an extra cost. So there's a lot of different things going on with Spirit that you really need to know, or you'll be hit with that $100 fee that a lot of people get hit up because they try to bring on the carry-on, and they shouldn't. And then the last thing I want to talk about is I want you guys to really stop being scared of giving away and stop giving away your gems for free. A lot of times we feel like we need to prove that we are the subject matter expert, and the only way we can do that is if we tell everybody our bread and butter, and that's not true. What you want to do is you definitely want to get reviews. Reviews by real people that have real Facebook and LinkedIn accounts so that people can show that they're real people. Text messages are great too. If somebody texts you when they say you did a great job, screenshot it, blur out their name, and put it up there because that's real. So emails as well. Emails, somebody email you, you did great. That's all feedback, right? A review doesn't have to be a formal, I worked with Danielle Mitchell and it was such a pleasure. It could be like, girl, I just hit my goal this month of $3,000. Thank you so much for your strategy. That's going to bring me 3 more people at $1,000 a piece. Thank you, Mom. That was better than anything else, right? So I think that is what you really want to do. Giving away your bread and butter is something that you don't want to do because you really don't want to have to reinvent the wheel of what you're going to do for people that pay. If I can get everything that you're talking about on your YouTube videos, then why am I paying you? So think about it like this. People that are on YouTube are following you because they want to do it themselves. So break down what you're doing in multiple videos so that 1, it's easy to digest, but 2, you'll get paid over and over off that ad revenue. People that pay you don't want to do it themselves, and they want you to hold their hand and walk them through so that they can make sure that they not only understand what you're saying, but they learn it so they don't have to pay someone else again to teach them. So there are 2 different types of people. So understand that the person that wants your free content is probably not your client, but you can still utilize them through YouTube, through ad revenue, and through sponsorships, through clicking videos and things like that. And while you're giving your free information, make sure that you always include affiliate links. If you're talking about building a website and you're talking about where to buy themes, make sure that you're not just saying go to themeforest.com. Make sure that you're saying you can click the link and get that money from when they do buy that theme, because that's what people are doing. So I want us to just all be a little bit more smarter when we're giving out information, because even if you're giving out free advice, when you have that affiliate link, it's not really free. you're still getting paid, but not from your consumer, from the vendor that they'll be using. And that's it. So thank you so much for coming on my podcast, guys.
Thank you for having me.
I'll definitely have to have you guys on again for advertising 202 microaggressions in corporate America. This is going to be a good one.
Woo! It'll be so dope.
Snatches, wigs, and edges.
We'll have to do another one for sure. And for everyone else, please, if you haven't already, make sure that you head on over and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have so many goodies. If you're interested in doing your own YouTube, I have a course for you, how to start your YouTube for your business. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me directly at danielle@averageblackgirl.com. All right, my above average crew, you can reach me on my websites at averageblackgirl.com and my blog and lifestyle website at danielleamitchell.com. You can reach me on Facebook and Instagram at Average Black Girl and on Twitter at ABG Girl. And you can reach me on Pinterest at A Black Girl 2015. And don't forget, the Start Your YouTube Masterclass can be found at above-average-university.teachable.com. I will talk to you soon. Bye.